Rick was talking about is north of the Soviet base. That's where Skullface is keeping Sahelanthropus before setting it loose in Afghanistan. There's a good chance he's got nukes, too. Boss, we need to figure out what Skullface is up to. If you make contact with him, get him to talk. The ethnic cleansing parasites, Sahelanthropus. Find out what his plans are. Skullface's plans are on the verge of fruition. We need to stop him while we still can.
And we edge closer and closer to Skullface's truth. Welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. I'm glad to say that we're nearing the end.
Apparently XOF unleashed the Russian parasite strain. To isolate the facility, they first spread reports of a chemical weapon leak. The infection won't spread into the surrounding regions. Still, I think they just exterminate the men who work with them all this time. Skullface must be making his final play.
It seems as if Skullface is finally wrapping up all his tech and should I say intel is coming into fruition. Now these are the final stages of Skullface's potential plan. He's trying to take the fight straight to Major Zero, should I say Cypher. Apparently he wants to unleash nuclear deterrence on all sides, and he to be the one to govern this nuclear power that the world will become.
Eli snuck into the cargo on board the chopper. His idea of an escape attempt? Who can say? We'll think of how to deal with him later. Snake, do you read me? I know more than anyone about OKB-0 and Sahelanthropus. Boss, I've made up my mind. I want to be of use to you, not him. Let me work to pay for what I've done. I'll prove it, that I've always been your ally. Boss, I'll be focused on coordinating backup here at Mother Base. The chain of command is still in place. If you have orders, give them through Miller as usual. Skullface is in OKB-0. Start by making contact with him. The facility itself is under the control of XOF, Cypher's strike force. We have no hard data on their force strength, so your judgment in the field will be key. Boss, we're finally here. Find Skullface and take everything from him. XOF has occupied the facility. Skullface must be close.
Miller's words of revenge echoing through the mic as always. It's quite an interesting development as to how we've got here. Code Talker helped us understand the virus even further. Apparently, the parasite strain, you are able to teach it a specific language, specific vocal cord vibrations. And if you unleash this virus upon the people who speak of that certain language or speak that certain language, you are able to infect them and kill them with this virus. As we saw from the Devil's House, Skullface was actually teaching this strain of virus quite a lot of different languages, except for English. That was the one missing language that could not be decrypted from all the information that was gathered from the Devil's House, funnily enough. But there are a lot of untied and loose strings that are still yet to be answered. Hopefully we'll go in, we'll find answers from Skullface, and the rest will fall into play. But even that on its own won't be enough. There's still a lot to do. It's still murky, and I guess...
Extraction arrived
Good work.
at the base.
2 more gates to go. Still all quiet at the silo. No sign of Skullface or his Goliath. Surely they can't already have... No, never mind.
These shades of grey are what build upon the suspense as to how Big Boss finally became the bad guy, or
Analysis complete.
the supposed bad guy, depending on whose point of view you're looking at it. If you're looking at it from Solid Snake's point of view, when he still worked for Foxhound, then yes, Big Boss was the bad guy. But then, if you look at it from the sense that all that time Snake and his his work in philanthropy and against Big Boss, all the stuff, how can I say it? In the end, everyone was being used by the Patriot system. So it's really difficult to understand who truly was the bad guy, but at least you get to see the side that Big Boss came from. Quite interesting if you ask me. But we are infiltrating Skullface's main fortress in Afghanistan called OKB-0. Not too sure what the OKB stands for, but I'm sure if we could find out. The tie with 0 at the end definitely goes with Major Tom, or should I say Cypher. There's a lot of there's a deep grudge between Skullface and 0 in that regard.
Analysis complete.
We're gonna find out a lot more later. If you take your time and move slowly in this particular area, you should be able to make it without, well, even if you are detected, if you just move slow and controlled, you are able to move in without dying, those for a lack of better words, because it is difficult to stay out of sight of everyone, especially for players who will potentially want to Fulton all the guards and Fulton the vehicles and equipment and minerals and resources. I believe if you'd want to do that, the best thing to do would actually be to disarm and knock out all the guards in the facility and take over the area. Then you can start Fultoning things, because of the way the patrols are set up currently, I would think that if you were to try Fulton someone, unless you have the wormhole extraction device, your balloon will easily get spotted, and no one really wants that. But you need to move quick, you need to move in a controlled manner, and
Fire!
make your mark. That was a very close situation. The helicopter itself, to be honest with you, is nothing to be scared of. The line of sight is really bad if you stay low, especially if you're crawling, should I say proning. You should have an easy time getting past the chopper. That's not really the difficult part. The difficult part is making sure that you can take out a guard without alerting the other, because as soon as guards start seeing each other dropping, they get very suspicious and instantly go into caution or even an alert very simply, without a lot of hesitation, to be honest with you. I don't know. You can take it however you want to take it. But I don't know if I talked about this in the past stuff, which I think I might have, but I believe it's something worth bringing up. Before we made it to the base, Huey Emmerich was saying that, "Let me prove to you that I've always been your ally." If you notice that ever since we captured him, he was trying to show you his innocence. He was playing dumb with you. "Oh, I'm innocent, what could I have ever done wrong? I'm holding no information away from you." But when Ocelot was interrogating him and threatened his life with the metallic Achaea, he gave away the secret location where he was working with Skullface. So is Yui actually... Well, I personally don't think he is.
Only one gate left.
I don't think he is, but
The enemy's headquarters. Something's wrong. But it has to be here.
I don't think he's innocent as he said he was ever since the beginning. It's not just by circumstance that he knows the space. He always knew the space. He was just trying to see how long he could survive, and I personally believe that there are more problems than what he's letting out. He's definitely onto something, but I'm not sure what just yet. He is hiding something, and I believe that he knows that Skullface could potentially foil his plans, hence why he's sticking with Big Boss so that Skullface won't get to him. Avoid the cameras at all costs though. I don't know. It's a tricky situation with Yui. But like I had said in the past, it's very interesting to see how you get to see the relationship between Yui, Emmerich and Big Boss. You get to see this very bully-esque, very difficult relationship between Big Boss and Yui Emmerich, but then it contrasts itself when you look at the relationship that Solid Snake had with Otacon, who is Yui Emmerich's, I believe, grandson. The two relationships just contrast so much. I would wonder what would happen if all four of them were to be in the same room together. And this is when we finally... Well, I guess as soon as you make it past the second gate, they do just say enemy activity noted, so you can't go through without them being on caution. But this is the particular spot in which now I am in a very dangerous position. They now know what's going on, and I need to take care of people and move quickly. We can use some of the building's columns to climb up, but I wasn't too sure what to do here. So instead I decided to leave a trail of dead bodies as a decoy. Hopefully it will give us enough time to get past and move away. For anyone asking, this is indeed the parasite suit, but I don't have the parasite strain just yet. I haven't filtered any skull unit operatives. Potentially do that in a later date. Experiment with the suit, see what it can do. But for now, Justice-based defenses are quite decent. Decent to such an extent that the rating of any mission wearing this suit is already decreased to an A. You can't get S ranking wearing this suit at all. So I'm assuming that should mean that the defenses of the suit and the capabilities of the suit are very strong.
CP, this is Zulu 2. Something weird's going on here. How should we proceed? Over. This is CP. Understood. Tighten security and stay alert. Out.
Clouds approaching.
Could potentially make a long distance shot, but the problem is when a guard has a helmet, they stagger after the first shot, and usually a guard near them will always hear the helmet pop off their head. And when they stagger, the second shot, the follow-up shot, is always difficult, and this quiet is helping you, of course, but in this particular case, her line of sight was a little bit obstructed and I really needed to move. I don't know, I felt very agitated when I was playing this. Felt really scared, I was panicking, just wasn't playing so great, but in the end I believe it was all worth it. I wish I took the time to look at the architecture of this base though. Now that I'm looking at the front gates, you can see that it was a, I don't know how I could say this, don't know if palace is the correct word, but looks like an old ruined palace, and then they moved in as soon as, I'm assuming when the Russian soldiers moved in and established their operations within this old ruined palace, they started building infrastructure within it and repairing some of the nooks and crannies just to put a few columns up to make a few gates, elevators and pathways. But overall, if you look at the structure in itself, it's still very basic. And not basic in the sense that there's not much to it, but basic in the sense that they haven't added a lot to the ruined structure, which is all fair and fine. If you looked over to the right, you could see the construction crane. So construction is still underway. They are still doing work within the space, and I'm assuming they're establishing a long-term base of operations here, or else they wouldn't need to move in to build such large infrastructure in a temporary base. But this distraction in itself was enough to let us sneak by the walker gear that was stationed by the gate. I don't know. Managed to do it.
CP, this is Delta 3. Correct detected. Going alert. Over. This is CP. Understood. Check your surroundings. Out.
And we have managed to make it to the helipad. Apparently Skullface should
coming after you. His ride has arrived. Don't let Skullface get away. Stop him at the heliport.
Map has been updated.
And here we are now.
Boss, can you see the heliport? Skullface is right there. Make contact with him and make him talk. We have to stop him before his plan is set in motion.
I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and I hope you enjoy the dialogue to come. I'll see you soon, and thanks for watching.
You too have known loss, and that loss torments you still. You hope hatred might someday replace the pain, but it never goes away. It makes a man hideous, inside and out. Wouldn't you agree? We both are demons. Our humanity won't return. You, me, we've no place to run, nowhere to hide. And that is why I'll show you my demon. Follow me, big boss!
If it comes to that. That's our leverage against him, our deterrent. He doesn't want a war on his hands.
Whatever the Navajo told you, it's just one possible solution derived by Cypher. My will is different. I've known you since your time at Langley. I've long been the other side of your coin. 1964, Soviet territory. Vox's first mission. Any mess you made, I was there to clean up. You completed your task, and admirably. The information you returned was far more than enough to fill our pockets. With it, our futures became, more or less, set in stone. And then the Major came to me with an idea. Washington doesn't know how to spend money, he said. I'd like to redirect it. His goal was an organization dedicated solely, covertly, to supporting America. Cypher. You know the rest. To him, it was mourning the loss of his friend. Or rather, an act of revenge on the world, but America most of all. America is a country of liberty, a meeting of immigrants. Instead of simply assimilating, its citizens live alongside others. Their roots are varied, diverse. America's never been made up of just one. But he tried to forge a single consciousness for it and from it. The idea that every citizen would use free will to unite behind their country. Unilateralism like that can't be entrusted to any one individual. So the Major sought a system that used information, words, to control the subconscious. To unite America and the entire world. The Major thought this was his friend's will, but I think he never understood what she wanted. Before he ever walked or cried, even before he was born, his mother tongue was English. He doesn't know the pain of losing his own language. Not yet. He cannot understand her will. I do. I was born in a small village. I was still a child when we were raided by soldiers. Foreign soldiers. Torn from my elders, I was made to speak their language. With each new post, my masters changed, along with the words they made me speak. Words are peculiar. With each change, I changed too. My thoughts, personality, how I saw right and wrong. War changed me. And not only my visage. Words can kill. I was invaded by words, burrowing and breeding inside me. A philosopher once said, "It is no nation we inhabit, but a language." Make no mistake, our native tongue is our true fatherland. My fatherland, my truth was stolen from me. And so was my past. All that's left is the future. And mine is revenge. On those who leech off the words of their fellow man. This is what I learned from the Major. And then it hit me. It was he who should feel my wrath. He and the code he chose as basis for control. Language codes. codes, information codes, beamed all around us, genetic codes spanning history. By controlling the codes, Cypher Zero intends to unify. Codes implanted into our heads, sucking our minds dry as it spreads from one host to the next. A parasite upon this earth, that is what Zero is. As one born into this world, he's afflicted. I hold him responsible for killing my freedom. Killing all traces of my past. Killing any promise of a future. We are all but dead men forced to walk upon this earth. A world reduced to zero. Cypher plans to use its codes to control the world. They think they can. And the mother tongue of all those codes is ink. The Word became flesh. The final parasite. It knows English. An English strain of the vocal parasite. I will exterminate the English language. With this, I'll rid the world of infestation. All men will breathe free again, reclaim their past, present, and future. This is no ethnic cleanser. It is a liberator. To free the world from zero. Let the world be. Sans lingua franca, the world will be torn asunder. And then it shall be free. People will suffer, of course, a phantom pain. The world will need a new common tongue, a language of nukes. My Nephilim years shall be the thread by which all countries are bound together in equality. No words will be needed. Every man will be forced to recognize his neighbor. People will swallow their pain. They will link lost hands. The world will become one. This war is peace. When the world witnesses Sahelanthropus, the hands of the doomsday clock will roll on, regardless of Zero. Sahelanthropus will take the first giant step into a brave new world. It is the bell with which a world trodden upon by words declares its independence.
We are here. Remember the Alamo.
This is Queequeg on station to provide cover.
Get us a line of fire.
Roger that.
We're not the only demons in this world. Like you, vengeance is all he has. It's man's thirst for revenge that drives the times. Just as you live because of me, he lives because of you. Show him! Wait! Who is doing this? Such a lust for revenge?